So we're going to be talking Euro 2016, most specifically England and the performance in drawing the opening group game against
Russia.
The Russians. Yeah, go ahead. Obviously, I was fully involved. The question we're going to be asking is, did Roy Hodgson get the substitutions wrong in that game? Chris, how much of that football match do you remember?
And not enough that I didn't have to watch the highlights back.
It was a weird one because, I'll be perfectly honest. We've made a bit of a joke about the English thing, and I definitely there is the Scouse Not English thing, which we're going to be explaining for more people who want to know about it on the Red Men YouTube channel. But like most of these England shirts are actually mine from when I was younger. I enjoyed the first half, really enjoyed it. I thought England played really well. They created chances. They were dangerous. They looked like the only team liable to win it. But in the second half, it needed something. And for me, this is where the weaknesses of the manager come to the forefront. I just don't think he's good enough, and his decision making, particularly in the substitutions, was poor. Discuss.
For me, it was like watching Everton for two-thirds of last season. It was, though. It was exactly like watching Everton. You were watching loads of possession. It was lovely moving the ball side to side, but they weren't going anywhere, and you always felt like there was going to be a sting in the tail, and there was a sting in the tail. On the substitutions, he got them hilariously wrong, just so wrong, it was unbelievable. Number one, he only made 2 subs. Yeah. Again, very much like Everton last season.
Very late as well.
Subs were terrible.
Yeah.
England had a 1-0 lead, and even with 5 minutes to go, you almost felt like, and it felt like it with the commentators and everything, like, England have got this game already won, and the players felt like that, and the subs reflected that. Wilshere, sorry mate, but for me, I would never have brought him on in that situation.
77 minutes, Wilshere comes on. Was it 87 minutes or 86 minutes? Milner comes on for Sterling. I'll be honest, I actually think the Milner for Sterling substitution's probably okay. Because at that point, there's 3 minutes left of the game, lads. And Sterling, the substitution itself is all right.
It
should have happened 20
but
to 30
I disagree.
minutes.
No, I agree. I agree in so much as when you look at it, it's dead easy to go, oh, Milner. And it's actually not a defence of James Milner as such, because I don't think there's any need to defend James Milner. But I think you group his decision making in terms of substitutions for me. And in his mindset, it was always negative. And in terms of, and so with 3 minutes to go, putting Milner on, who's a lot more solid, does a lot more running, does a lot more defensive work on, isn't bad in his mindset, a decision to make. The decision for me was, even at 60 minutes, you should be making a positive change there, because England were not in that game.
What I'd say is this, right? I don't see nothing wrong with bringing on Wilshere for Rooney. He was knackered, Rooney.
I
But
didn't think he was.
Rooney
I didn't think he was.
Rooney
No,
was still putting a consoling influence
I
on
thought
the game
Rooney
at the
was
time.
running
And I don't think when Wilshere came on, he did anything wrong.
I think the game was
fact,
passing Rooney by that point.
I thought Rooney was tired, right?
I thought Rooney was running the game.
I thought Rooney played well, but
in the first half,
yeah, he looked tired, right? So to bring Jack on who can carry the ball, I thought he did all right. I don't disagree with Milner, because I agree the game's coming towards an end.
3 minutes to go, that's
secure it
fine
up.
for a
There's nothing wrong with that. What I had the problem with is Harry Kane. He should have come off. For me, I don't know what all of us, and this is nothing to do with I've signed the truce, right? And I'm right behind. When England scored and Dyer put that in, I was jumping up like everybody else, right? But for me, Harry Kane did not have a good game, right? And Harry
didn't.
Harry Kane was completely ineffective. But all of a sudden, it's like everything. The emphasis is that he's like the main man. He's taking corners.
The corners thing is a joke.
Yeah.
Now, for me, I would have taken him off even before we scored, because I thought he was so ineffective. I would have bought him off, and I would have bought on either Sturridge or Vardy, because that was the positive move that we should have made, we didn't.
Hodgson doesn't make positive moves.
For me,
and I'll just say this, right, that in being positive, right, look at France the other night. They took off Pogba and Griezmann, right? Would Roy Hodgson have done that? It's like he don't want to take Kane off because he thinks he's the main guy.
For me,
Kane did not have a good game.
I think he's sorry, Ped. I think he sees Vardy as his get out of jail free card.
Why not use him then?
Exactly. But what I mean is, I don't think he felt he needed him there. I think he's got him there as in the last group game, or when England need to get themselves out of a hole with 15 minutes to go, he'll throw Vardy on. Whereas what he should have done in that situation is, with a goal up, they're going to start coming at us. stick Vardy on and just start pinging balls over the top.
Crying out for
tell you-
Vardy. It was crying out for either Vardy or Sturridge.
I'll tell you why I disagree with basically everything that's just been said. No, number one, I thought Rooney was doing fine. I thought he was controlling the game. Okay, if he needed to come off, I don't think Wilshere was the man. Wilshere's hardly played any football this season. And I think at times...
Let's play for 15 minutes.
Yeah, but the problem is he's going into a 15 minutes where Russia are looking to get a goal.
But sometimes he didn't do anything wrong when
he did. He actually lost the ball for when they went and got the corner. So he did do something wrong. But what I would say is, I'm not having a go at him. What I'm saying is, sometimes you bring subs on and they have to be straight into the action. Yeah. And I don't think Wilshere's up to speed on that. Yeah. And sometimes, this is why I think he should have took Drinkwater. I think you could have brought Drinkwater on and he could have sat right next to Dyer. You bring Vardy on as well. He starts stretching. Sterling was abysmal. Yeah. You get Vardy on and you just start saying, lads, the get out of jail ball is to get over the top.
I disagree.
You stretch them.
With the Sterling was abysmal.
Oh, he was abysmal. Alan Lennon could have done that job.
Let me just say something here. I thought that Sterling, his end product was poor. Yeah. But the way in which he carried the ball, he was the threat.
That's what he's
game.
On the pitch for,
but
though.
But what I'm saying is the way in which he carried the ball, he was a constant threat in that game.
I think the problem with the Sterling stuff is you look at it, and that second half, Lallana I thought had a really good first half. He did nothing second half. Dele Alli did nothing second half. Wayne Rooney, his passing was still good, but it was going the other way. He wasn't tracking anymore.
I agree with Ped on the Wayne Rooney thing because he was the only person who put his foot on the ball and kept possession.
Oh no, true, but the point
you don't take that player off. No. That's why that was a bad
but the point
that's
is
experience.
Then, but what I'm trying to say is, and then Harry Kane did very little
garbage all game,
did not in second half at all. The players that if you're going to bring players on, bring players on with pace and who are going to get amongst it. And if I was going to take Rooney off, which I wasn't bothered either way, I'd have put Barkley on or something just to get a bit of aggression into the midfield. Bring Vardy on to get some runners on. Sterling would have stayed on for me if only just because he didn't look knackered. Yeah. Adam Lallana looked done. Dele Alli vanished off the pitch.
Do you know the thing that everyone's forgetting here when we're mentioning Jamie Vardy as a positive substitution? That is as defensive a substitution as you can make for bringing a forward on as well.
Exactly.
Because he terrorises defenders and puts them under pressure when they're tiring during the end of the game.
He's an outball. He is an outball. You could have pinged that ball.
Or Sturridge, like you said, because Sturridge as well, I think, because again, the defences are worried.
Yeah. But with Vardy,
we're not worried about
Robbie, with Vardy, you can ping a ball into a corner and he will run up and he will get you up the pitch 20 yards. I'm not sure Sturridge can do that at this point.
I love Daniel Sturridge, but it never entered my head. We all play it out in our heads, don't we? Sturridge was never in my mindset to bring him on in that.
The thing that, as I said,
the problem is what it boils down to.
For me, it was the Kane one. I didn't disagree with the other subs.
Yeah. Thing with Milner, what I would say is though, and what I'm somewhat with the centre midfielders. You look at Milner, right? We know Milner can do that job, but look how easily the Russian player just strolled past him because Milner he simply wasn't up to the speed of the game, and I think that's sometimes forgotten when people bring subs on. You have to get straight into the action.
And equally, James Milner had been brought on left wing with that amount of time. Again, it comes down to it for me is that, and I said this about the competition as a whole, that the players, England will succeed in spite of that manager. And I think we saw it in the first half, and I think the players went out there, they were all pumped, they were all fired up, they're all in good form, they've gone and shown the stuff. When Russia come out in the start of the second half, England did not have a control of that game at all. And if it's not for a really good free kick, well, England didn't do enough to deserve. I'd say Hodgson's not the kind of guy who can inspire. And
I don't think England played that. I don't think England played that well because I know they were saying it's fantastic and all this, but I'll go from experience of this season. I've watched this football all season. It's great when it's football side to side to side, but there's no end product. I'm with Robbie here. I'm with Robbie.
It was more dangerous than that in the first half.
I don't know.
Let me just say
I'm with Robbie though on Kane. No, I think Vardy is a lot more effective striker than Kane. Kane's great at joining up and helping, but sometimes you just need that. How many times did the ball flash across the goal and all it needed someone to just tap it in? I think that's where Vardy's actually more effective than Kane.
I think it was a good performance by England. I thought it was. Normally they go to these tournaments. The first game in particular, they're very, very poor. Remember, was it Algeria, the last in the World Cup?
It's a low bar though, isn't it?
Were terrible, right? But they was playing Algeria and they were terrible. And a lot of times they go into these tournaments, right, and you can see it is full of nerves, and I love the way they came out of the blocks the other night. They played without fear. Yes, there was a little dip, I think, at the start of the second half, but then again, they kicked on. The performance, I thought, was good. How Russia got a point out of the game, I don't know. They were very, very fortunate. But all I'm saying is, where I agree with you, Paul, the manager, is he positive enough?
Yeah, I don't think.
Because I felt
been saying
that,
that.
You know, but
Harry Kane to
what?
me should have been hooked in that game, and I'm not. I think Harry Kane is a good player.
You know what I'm going to do?
Dele Alli and Dyer, they should have all been hooked.
It's not like that.
Rose and Walker.
No.
What are they doing?
Spurs players,
It's nothing to do with Tottenham.
That Nicholson
Harry
as well.
Kane
But you
should
know,
be
though,
starting.
Lineker.
But if he's not performing throughout the game, bring him off and bring someone else
Lineker
on.
in the studio.
But listen,
Right.
here's the thing. I just want to make a point on this as well. Is that it's a really weird thing with the England stuff. I think you're right. I think there's no sense in getting too disheartened about it, because I think the good thing is with Wales next, that's actually the perfect order, because again, it's the kind of game that the players will naturally get pumped up for. I think it might have been the other way if you had to go and play Slovakia next. It's the kind of game they might show, because they'd be expected to win that game. You get what I mean? But what I'm going to say about it all is that I am the type of England fan, is of the type of Liverpool fans that I hate most in the world, is the kind of that basically think it's quite funny and gets to say I was right when it's rubbish, but then also when it goes well, you get to go, I quite enjoyed that. So I'm gonna try stray away from the negative too much and give the benefit of the doubt to the players. Although not the manager, because he's an owl-faced weirdo. Anyway, let us know your thoughts. Did Roy get the substitutions wrong? What changes would you have made instead? And going forward as well, what would you do? Would you change the starting 11? Looking ahead to the Wales game as well. Comments below. Subscribe to the Red Men TV, Toffee TV, and Arsenal Fan TV as well. And check back for more Social Club next week.